The sea does not just take lives, it takes identities. There is a specific kind of horror reserved for the vessel that returns to port without its people. A floating tomb, perfectly intact, moving with the currents as if guided by a phantom hand. We call them ghost ships. But the archive remembers them as echoes, residue of events that the water has chosen to keep. This is Chapter 4 of The Aquatic Abyss. Here, we board the derelict and the disappeared. We investigate the Mary Celeste, the Flying Dutchman, and the biological anomalies that can turn a crew of hardened sailors into a collection of silent, missing names. The ocean is an efficient editor of the human story. In December of 1872, the brigantine Mary Celeste was found drifting in the Atlantic, halfway between the Azores and Portugal. The sails were set, the cargo of alcohol was untouched, and the personal belongings of the captain and crew were in their places. But the people were gone. Not a single soul was ever seen again. There was no sign of a struggle, no evidence of a storm. It was as if they had simply evaporated into the salt air. For a century, we have looked for a culprit. Pirates, sea monsters, mutiny. But the archive suggests a more unsettling truth. The sea can create conditions that make the air itself a weapon. A biological and chemical shift that forces a crew to flee the only safety they have. Before the Mary Celeste, there was the Flying Dutchman, a legend born of the Cape of Good Hope, where the Atlantic and Indian Oceans collide in a violent, foaming struggle. Captain Hendrik van der Decken, cursed to sail the stormy waters forever, never able to make port. To see the Dutchman was a death sentence for a sailor, a biological warning from the abyss. But what if the Dutchman isn't a ghost? What if it is a Fata Morgana? A complex, superior mirage where the atmosphere acts as a lens, projecting images of distant ships onto the horizon, distorted and glowing. The archive reminds us that the eyes are easily deceived when the mind is at the limit of its endurance. In 1948, the SS Ourang Medan sent out a frantic SOS. All officers, including captain, are dead. I die. When rescuers boarded the ship, they found the crew frozen in positions of absolute terror, their eyes wide open, staring at something that was not there. There were no wounds, no signs of foul play. The ship eventually exploded and sank, taking its secrets to the bottom of the Malacca Strait. The archive investigates the possibility of infrasound or toxic gas leaks, vibrations from the Earth's crust that can trigger hallucinations and sudden cardiac arrest. The Ourang Medan was a biological slaughterhouse, a place where the planet itself decided that the human presence was no longer tolerated. Why does a crew abandon a perfectly seaworthy ship? The psychological weight of the ocean is a factor the archive never overlooks. Isolation, sleep deprivation, and the constant rhythmic pulse of the waves can break the strongest mind. We believe we are rational beings, but on the water, we are merely terrestrial mammals out of our element. The ghost ship is a testament to the fragility of the human psyche. It is a mirror held up to our fear of being left behind, of becoming a footnote in a logbook that no one will ever read. Every empty cabin is a record of a moment where the fear of the deep became greater than the fear of the unknown. We are always one bad night away from the abyss. In the center of the North Atlantic lies the Sargasso Sea, a vast, rotating gyre of stagnant water and thick brown weed. For centuries, sailors believed it was a graveyard for ships, a place where the wind dies and the ocean becomes a trap. The archive holds records of hundreds of derelicts found in the weed, their crews vanished or dead from thirst. It is a biological dead zone, a place where the ocean's circulation fails and the human story simply stops moving. To be trapped in the Sargasso is to be edited out of the world. It is the ultimate ghost fleet, a collection of ships that the sea has decided to keep as a private museum of our failures. There is a biological theory for the ghost ship that is more terrifying than any ghost story. Infrasound. Low-frequency sound waves, often generated by earthquakes or massive storms, that are below the range of human hearing but can be felt by the body. Research suggests that infrasound at certain frequencies can cause extreme anxiety, chills, and even visual hallucinations, shadowy figures in the corner of the eye. Imagine a crew, already on edge, being bombarded by a sound they cannot hear but can feel in their bones. The ship becomes a house of madness. They jump into the water not to die, but to escape a horror that has no face and no voice. The ocean knows how to speak to our reptilian brain. In 1955, the MV Joyita was found in the South Pacific, 400 miles off her course. She was partially submerged, her radio set to the international distress frequency, and every single one of her 25 passengers and crew was missing. The lifeboats were gone, but the ship was still buoyant. Why would they leave the safety of the hull for the open sea in tiny rafts? The archive notes that the ship's medical kit was found open, with bloody bandages. Something had happened on the Joyita, a biological event or a surgical emergency that turned into a mass panic. It is a story of a rescue that never came, and a truth that the Pacific has chosen to bury in its coral reefs. The ocean is the ultimate repository of our mistakes. Every ghost ship is a physical record of a moment where the human narrative was interrupted. We look at the Mary Celeste and we want an answer because we want to believe that the world is predictable. We want to believe that if we follow the rules, we will make it home. But the archive shows us that the sea does not play by our rules. It operates on a timeline of millions of years, and it views our technology as temporary, fragile toys. The ghost ship is the ocean's way of reminding us that we are guests, and sometimes the host decides that the visit is over. The silence of the derelict is the ocean's final word. We are drawn to the ghost ship because it represents the ultimate mystery of the self. What would we do in that final hour? Would we stay with the ship, or would we choose the abyss? The archive holds the accounts of those who survived, but the stories of those who didn't are written in the salt and the rust. Sometimes the sea illuminates its prizes. The Milky Seas phenomenon, vast stretches of glowing bioluminescent bacteria, can make a ghost ship appear as if it is sailing on a sea of light. It is a beautiful, horrific sight, a biological spotlight on a human tragedy. It is the ocean's way of ensuring that even in the dark, the archive remains open for those with the eyes to see. Perhaps the most persistent ghost of all is the SS Baychimo. Trapped in the pack ice of the Arctic in 1931, the crew abandoned her, thinking she would soon be crushed. But the Baychimo didn't sink. For the next 38 years, she was seen drifting through the freezing mists of the Beaufort Sea, a rusted phantom appearing to Inuit hunters and passing sailors. She survived storms and ice crush that should have destroyed her. She became a biological anomaly of steel and wood, a creature of the ice that refused to die. The last sighting was in 1969. Somewhere in the absolute cold of the northern dark, the Baychimo may still be sailing, a ghost of the industrial age, waiting for the ice to finally claim its due. We believe that our ships are our armor. We believe that as long as we are behind steel and rivets, we are safe from the biology of the deep. But the ghost ship is the proof that the armor is an illusion. The sea doesn't need to break the hull to break the crew. It can use the air, the sound, the light, and the isolation to reach inside and extract the human element. Atlantis was a city that became a ghost. The Mary Celeste was a home that became a tomb. It is the same story, told at different scales. The archive warns us that as we build bigger and more complex vessels to harvest the ocean, we are only creating larger stages for the next ghost story to unfold. Hubris is the weight that sinks us all. Look at the rusted wheel of a ship that never made port. It no longer steers toward a destination, it is steered by the tides. The hands that once held it are now part of the seabed, their stories edited by the salt and the pressure. This is the final sovereignty of the ocean. It takes our tools of navigation and turns them into homes for the things that have no need for a map. The ghost ship is a transition state, a moment of human artifice being ground back into the biological and geological truth of the planet. Every barnacle on the hull is a word in a language we have forgotten, a record of the ocean's slow, patient reclaiming of its territory. Silence is the only witness that never lies. The ghost fleet is still growing. In the modern era, despite GPS and satellite tracking, ships still vanish. The archive holds reports of massive bulk carriers that disappear in seconds, likely victims of rogue waves, massive walls of water that appear out of nowhere. We think we have mapped the danger, but the ocean is a dynamic, evolving mind. It creates new ways to erase us every day. The modern ghost ship is a digital ghost, a signal that simply stops, a radar blip that is there 1 second and gone the next. We are no more safe today than the sailors of Olaus Magnus's time. We have only traded the fear of the Kraken for the fear of the physics we cannot control. The abyss is still hungry. Why are we haunted by the ghost ship? Because it is the ultimate expression of the missing. It is the presence of the thing combined with the absence of the life. We can board the Mary Celeste, we can touch the wheel, we can read the log, but the soul of the ship is gone. It is a biological vacuum that we are desperately eager to fill with our own theories. We search for the missing because we are looking for the point of transition, the moment where a human life becomes a maritime mystery. But the archive suggests that the transition is not a point, but a process. A slow, cold dissolving of the individual into the collective memory of the water. We are not searching for a crew, we are searching for the proof that we matter. The lists of the vanished are long. The archive is filled with the names of vessels that sailed into the blue and never returned. The Waratah, the Cyclops, the Marine Sulphur Queen. Each name is a story that has no ending, or rather, an ending that only the sea knows. We build our memorials on land, in stone and bronze, but the true memorial is the water itself. It holds the vibration of every SOS and the memory of every final breath. We are a terrestrial people living on a maritime planet, and the ghost ship is the boundary marker between our world and theirs. Every name on the list is a reminder that the ocean has a very long memory, and it doesn't share its records easily. The truth is submerged. Look into the water at night, and you might see the reflection of a ship that isn't there. You might hear the creak of timber in the wind when the air is still. The ocean is not just water. It is a consciousness that predates our own. It sees the ghost ship as a successful harvest, a collection of human experience that has been returned to the source. The archive holds the last remnants of these stories, preserved in the ink of rare manuscripts and the scars on the ocean floor. But the sea is an efficient editor. It is slowly erasing the last traces of the human name, ensuring that eventually the abyss will be all that remains. We are the intruders. The abyss is the master of the long game. Silence is the only witness that never lies. The ocean is the ultimate gatekeeper. It holds 80% of the Earth's history in its depths, and it has no intention of sharing it. We believe that with our satellites and our sonar, we have mapped the world. But we have only mapped the surface. The ghost ship remains out of reach, not because it is a myth, but because it is sovereign territory. It belongs to the deep. As we push further into the abyssal plains, we are the ones who are out of place. We are the ghosts in their world. The derelict vessel is not a puzzle to be solved, but a boundary to be respected. It is the place where the human story ends and the planetary story begins. And the planet has a very long memory. We are merely dust falling through the water column. The sea is the one place where we are genuinely out of our depth. A world that covers most of our planet, but remains entirely alien to us. The mermaid, the kraken, and the lost city are all symbols of this fundamental truth. They are the faces we put on the unknown to keep our fear at bay. But the unknown doesn't care about our symbols. It operates on a timeline of billions of years, slowly churning, slowly evolving. The ghost fleet is still there, moving with the currents, its ruins being slowly ground back into the primordial soup. It is the ocean's way of saying that nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed into something that we can no longer understand. We are the intruders, The abyss is the master. The archive remains open, but for now, we must return to the light. The story of the ghost ship is a story of our own fragility, a reminder that the life we build is only a temporary reprieve from the weight of the water. Chapter 4 is complete, but the aquatic abyss still has secrets to reveal. What waits in the abyssal plains? What light shines in the absolute dark? We will return. Until then, keep your eyes on the horizon and never forget the weight that pulls at your heels. The tide is coming in, and the truth is never far behind. Good night for now. Sleep well if you can. The water is rising, and the archive remembers everything. Silence is our only witness.